Hi everyone, and welcome to the weekly reading for Libra. This is I Am Illuminated Tarot reading for Soul Illumination. And what does that mean? That means that in today's reading, we are looking at what your soul most wants to illuminate for you at this time. So this is a timeless reading, so whenever you are watching it, this message could be for you. So let's jump right in. Now, obviously, only take what resonates. Not every message is for everyone. This can also apply to anyone in your life as well, and the message could be for them. All right, so we have Nine of Pentacles. That's you, Libra. Nine of Pentacles is the energy of independence. It can be financial independence. It could also be the energy of really taking the time to stop and smell the roses and look at all of the hard work you've accomplished, but being in a place where you can enjoy that. Now, for some of you, this could be where you're actually looking at how you want to get to this energy. Now, in your external environment, or what Spirit's really having to illuminate for you at this time, is we have the Six of Pentacles and we have the Wheel of Fortune. Now, the Six of Pentacles and the Wheel of Fortune speaks to balance. It speaks to reciprocity. It can speak to giving and receiving. So at this time, you might be reevaluating whether what you give, how you give, or how you receive as well. So there's something here with the Wheel of Fortune that's saying that there is a shift in the physical balance of your life, meaning that you might be moving into a time period where you are moving from giving to a state of receiving, or vice versa. Now, there is a strong emphasis for those of you who are watching this that this has something directly to do related to a intimate relationship, most likely a romantic partnership, because we have a card coming in here as your main underlying energy that is unique to this version of the Rider-Waite Tarot Smith deck that I use. And this, for me, is very similar to the Lover's card in the regular tarot, but really speaks when it comes up in a reading to romantic love, not just making choices towards what we love, but specific to romantic or very integral relationships in our life. So this could be also a very close friendship, a very close bond with a family member, but someone who you share a very vulnerable and intimate connection with. Now, underneath that, we have something here. So it looks like for some of you, you may be looking at, there's been some type of resistance to a Ten of Cup kind of energy. The Ten of Cup energy can be what I like to call the happy family card. It can be where we actually, it's for us that feeling of emotional fulfillment when we feel like everything in our life has come together in the way that we would appreciate it coming together. You know, we have the perfect setting in a way. Now, it doesn't mean we can get close to this energy. It doesn't mean we can always attain it, because it is almost like touching a little piece of heaven on earth. But there is a sense for some of you that you've been dealing with another person in your life or an intimate relationship. There's been a block or a possible fight or conflict around getting to this energy. So this could be where two people are not on the same page as far as what this emotional fulfillment or happy family or happy life represents for them. Or this could also be where someone is maybe could be a little selfish. The Five of Swords can be where someone wants to win at all costs. There's an energy of kind of holding one's position no matter what. So there could be something here where for some of you, there could be a relationship dynamic change. And this could literally be where you are, if you're, let's say, not in a romantic relationship, where you are reviewing your relationship dynamics in the past, or maybe you have been pushing away happiness or moving towards fulfillment because of a previous relationship. This could also be where those of you who are in a relationship now, where there is something between the two of you that needs to be worked out, or one person maybe is again not on the same page as another person as far as how to achieve this Ten of Cups. And I do see here, Libra, that there's a big push to want to be independent, to want to be physically independent, meaning maybe wanting to be financially independent, or wanting to maybe have a job that allows you to be independent on some level. but it is going to require a change in the physical balance of your life, meaning that there might be, this might be the realization of, I've been fighting something in my life. Let's say this is saying, part of my happy family experience is having a partner that wants to save to go on large trips around the world. And that's something that's really important to me, but my partner doesn't seem to be getting on board with that. And this might mean that you might have to look at, well, if my partner is not on board with that, then what do I might have to take some of what I'm comfortable with right now, and I might have to put that money into something different, meaning I might have to be the one that says, okay, well, I'm going to take that second job to save this money because my partner is not on board with it, and I'm going to be the one to take it upon myself to make sure that I bring more of that into my life. And that could be where all of a sudden now you're in a state of giving, meaning that you are giving from your stockpile of physical possessions, time, energy, money. This could be also where you might be switching a dynamic with a partner, meaning that maybe you're deciding to become a stay-at-home parent, or they're deciding to become a stay-at-home parent, and suddenly the roles are reversed. But there is something here with the Wheel of Fortune that says that whatever is happening in your life at this time, Libra, is really focused on bringing your physical experience into a state of balance or alignment that maybe perhaps has been under review, or you've been pushing it away to some extent. So let's go ahead here. I'm going to pull some additional cards. So we're going to get a little deeper into this message. But I do strongly feel here, Libra, that many of you really want this independence, that either you are in a state of that already and trying to figure out what to do with that, or that's what you're seeking at this time. Okay, so let's see. What else does Libra need to know? What's Libra's soul trying to illuminate for them? So we're going to be pulling some cards here. We're going to be looking at a block or a challenge you're currently facing, advice from Spirit, and then we're going to be looking at what your soul is trying to illuminate as far as what wants to come in that is beneficial for your experience at this time. So we have death as your main point of challenge. That is a release, a kind of a finite change, or a final change. When we think of death, there's a sense of finality to that. We can't go back from what has died. Now there can be a sense of regeneration or regrowth or changing. When we think about our life experience, our understanding of our physical experience is that energy cannot be destroyed, or matter cannot be destroyed. It can just take on a different form. And that really is what the death card represents in the tarot. It's the number 13. It also harnesses the energy of Scorpio, and Scorpio is a sign along with the number 13 that really speaks to the endings and beginnings and how they are wrapped up together, that there is death and rebirth. And in order for something to change or become transformed, there needs to be something that dies. Now, with the Six of Cups, this is coming in together here. There's something from the past that must be released. The Six of Cups can be making peace with the past. It can be someone coming back from the past. So this could be literally having to release an old relationship, a previous relationship that maybe it was very difficult, maybe holding you back from being able to achieve this 10 of Cups. And that is what's going to bring now something into alignment into your physical experience. This could be releasing someone currently that you have a strong attachment to. This could be like actually releasing a strong familial bond with the Six of Cups, because this can be going back to that time of innocence in our youth. So this could be a bond that was formed at that time. For some of you, this could actually be the death of innocence, if that makes sense. For many of you, this could be, depending on where you are in your life, you might be going through this kind of realization of, wow, I was really naive in this situation. Or when I first started it, I was expecting it to go one way, and now I see that things have shifted or changed. This could be even a relationship, either current or past. Again, you might have gone in with rose-colored glasses and it didn't quite work out that way. But the beauty of this is that You're having a change in perspective, the Hanged Man. I think for many of you, there's a sense now of realizing what needs to be changed, what needs to be released. And that could be coming from a point of realization of just how strong or in a state of independence you are right now. Or maybe you did not have that previously and so had to maybe stay in a relationship that was restrictive for you, or one person was, again, stopping someone else from achieving the love or the happiness or the joy that they wanted. Now, on the other side of the Hanged Man, which is a change in perspective, we have the Queen of Wands. Now, this, for many of you, this is going to be this time period for you where you see something from a new perspective. This could be like actually where you're looking back at a previous relationship and you realize, wow, I've avoided doing something because of that relationship, and I'm realizing that now I can make peace with that and try again. Or I realized that I put aside part of my own happiness for someone else, and I'm realizing I don't have to do that anymore. I can make peace with that past version of who we were or who I was, and now I get to step up into my full power, because we have the Queen of Wands coming in right after that. And this is the energy of the person who really owns who they are. This is the person who shows up to every gathering as themselves. They are a highly magnetic, attractive individual who brings people towards them, people's circumstances, because they show up authentically as themselves. I always look at this as kind of the card that represents the witch archetype as well in the tarot, the individual who can kind of just through their own passion and showing who they are, they can make flowers grow in a barren desert. There's a sense here that always comes through with my readings that this is blooming where you're planted, really showing who you are, where you are. There's also a sense of kind of ownership as well, that it's not about a different relationship, it's not about a different location, it's not about a different job. It's taking ownership that wherever you are, there you are. And we all have that opportunity to bloom where we are in the moment, despite other external circumstances to ourselves. So at the very end of this, we have 7 of Swords, we have 5 of Wands, and then we have the 5 of Wands again. Now, this is what I often call my magic deck. That's why I love using it. Multiples of different cards show up often in readings, and they are different every time. And then when I go back to take a look at the cards, those multiples are not there. So this is definitely a very highlighted note right here. 7 of Swords is the card of avoidance. It's when somebody doesn't want to see something, doesn't want to acknowledge something, or is asking themselves a question. Is it worth it for me to do this? Now, 5 of Wands is a card of, it can be a card of competition, it can be a card of chaos, it can be a card of too many cooks in the kitchen, it can be a card of where everyone's trying to get in and everybody wants to do what they're passionate about. This could be even where you're kind of fighting with someone to say like, well, I want to do my hobbies, and the other person's like, well, I want to do my hobbies. Or it's more a card, you have, the 5 of Swords and the 5 of Wands, both cards that can kind of be a card, an agent of chaos type card. These are people who are combative. They just, they'd be like if 2 people came to the table, all they want to do is one up each other or get the last word in. And so I think for many of you, there's a sense here of wanting to avoid that kind of chaos, wanting to avoid that challenge. And for some of you, if this is actually getting over a past relationship, this is wanting to avoid getting back out on the horse. This is not wanting to go. This would be like saying, you've been grieving over the past relationship and saying, but I don't really want to get back out there and have to go on those dating sites again because there's just too many people and there's just too many things. And I don't want to have to compete for the hand of somebody. This can also be where you might even, if this has something to do, let's say with a family member, or, this could even be, anything that is, again, a close bond between someone else. This could even be applied to the workplace, a work scenario where maybe you got lost in a relationship with another person. And it's saying, but I don't know if I can go back out and find another job. I don't want to go back out and have to talk to recruiters or apply again because I'm sitting in a place of independence and that just seems like too much for me. So this could be, there really is a clear picture coming through here, Libra, of someone who's sitting in a place of moderate comfort. The Nine of Pentacles can be a comfort zone where we're in a place where we're like, okay, we're in our walled garden, everything's blooming, I've got enough, and I'm just going to enjoy it, my life alone. There can be a sense about that. I'm going to enjoy the fruits of my labor alone. And yet there's some aspect of yourself that is waiting to be released, that is going to allow you to really step into your full power and to be seen. Queen of Wands can be stepping up into the limelight. It can be being seen by others. And there's a sense of avoidance here that I think for many of you, what your soul is trying to illuminate is saying with the Wheel of Fortune and the Six of Pentacles, the time is now to bring something into balance in your life. The time is now to really, I think, change your perspective with the Hanged Man on what you've gone through and how much you have changed as an individual, and how now by going back out, whether this is literally facing a conflict, a challenge, you have to sit down and have that argument with your partner, or you have to have that tough conversation with, a business partner, or you have to sign up for that dating app and officially admit that it's time to release a past relationship that maybe was detrimental to your experience. And in doing so, it's going to bring something into alignment in your life that I think you've long felt has been out of balance. Bottom of the deck, we have the Two of Swords. Yes, you're in a place of indecision. There's that feeling of should I, shouldn't I, should I, shouldn't I. Two of Swords is someone who is holding two swords of equal weight and value. And those two swords each represent a truth or a decision to be made. And yet this individual can't figure out what is more in alignment with themselves. And so they are being asked, and this is interesting because this is actually the card represents a moon placement in Libra. So Libra, this is actually a card that represents your energy. And there's a sense of, wanting to weigh up all of the odds or all of the information and wanting to make this educated decision, but yet you can't, because when you're looking at both with your eyes and trying to rationalize it with your mind, there seems to be no decision that is better than the other, or no decision that maybe even seems to be in alignment with your truth. And yet this individual is being asked to wait till the dark of night, to close her eyes and to put those swords to rest and go within, to trust the intuition as to the decision that is waiting to be made, the decision that is there, but it comes from the heart, it comes from the intuition, it does not come from the mind or trying to analyze. So there's a sense here for many of you that you've been sitting in this place of indecision, and yet it's time now to go within and trust, really trust what you're feeling pulled to release within your life, especially if it's something that is tied to the past. Okay, so I'm going to pull a couple clarifiers, and then I'll pull a final card to wrap up your reading here, Libra. And this has been I know you might be going through a difficult time, especially with death coming in. Yeah, an Eight of Cups. Eight of Cups is finally making that decision to walk away from something that is no longer fulfilling. And then we have the Hanged Man, which is interesting. It came out reversed. So you have the Hanged Man twice here. Now, if you notice here, when it's right side up, the individual is hanging upside down, and they're hanging upside down to have that forced momentary change in perspective so that they kind of get that divine knowledge that comes in and says, but did you look at it from this way? When the card comes out reversed like this, you see the individual is finally ready to stand upright. It means he's ready to come down from this forced pause, this waiting for that knowledge, waiting for that change in perspective to come in. So for many of you, this is a card of the realization of, aha, I have that change in perspective, and it's time for me to take action, and finally admitting to walking away from something that has long not been emotionally fulfilling or emotionally supportive of myself. Six of Cups is the Wheel of Fortune. There it is again with the Two of Wands. Yes, you're being asked to make a choice. Which way do I go from here? This can be, when we have a change in perspective, it generally leads to the Two of Wands, which is making a big life, it's almost like a course correction. And with the Wheel of Fortune, it is saying, yes, this all hinges on the release of something from the past, the release of a past relationship, the release of a past version of yourself, the release of maybe even just a way of being and making peace with that. But either way, whatever this is relating to at this point, it is allowing you to chart a new path, to make a decision to go in a new direction or to act in a new way. Ten of Swords. Ten of Swords is when we felt like we've been brought to our knees. It is a very difficult time in our experience, but I think for many of you, there's a chance here to see that from a new perspective and to say, maybe the one thing that brought me to my knees was actually the thing that liberated me. And that can be a beautiful realization when you realize you have the power then to either walk away from something or walk towards something. You have the chance to, again, release something and transform that energy into the new. And then we have the Page of Coins and the Fool. Beautiful energy. This is taking that leap into the new. Page of Coins is realizing I'm going to be curious about what I have. This would be like the Nine of Pentacles here. This individual saying, I have so much, I'm in my comfort zone, but I'm going to take one of my pentacles and I'm going to walk outside my walled garden and I'm going to just go out there and see what I can do with this. I'm going to offer up a part of my comfort, my independence. I'm going to take that leap of faith that I'm ready to leave this comfort zone. So let's see about the Queen of Wands. We have the Ten of Cups and the Nine of Swords. Yeah, for many of you, there's a big worry around, I think maybe that if you do show yourself as your best and brightest, that either A, it will be something that actually, if you're in a current relationship where there is some type of drama going on, let's say, or there's a little bit of conflict or fighting, that it will end up hurting your ability to have this happy family. I think it could also be too, where for some of you, there's this fear around if you really start to show up as, again, your best and brightest self, that there's a sense of, will I ever find another person who will help me achieve this? And the Nine of Swords is a card of worry, intense worry. It's where we're kept up at night, just going over and over and over the what ifs and seeing only the negative possibilities. This can be where someone says, I really want to go out on my own and just see what else is out there for myself. But then what if I never get close to what I had in the past? Or what if I can relate this. I do have a moon placement in Libra, actually. And so I can definitely relate a lot to the energy of this reading. And I can tell you, I went through a lot of this kind of, I'd say, analysis paralysis when I was getting ready to leave my ex-husband. And it was very difficult for me because there was that sense of being able to free myself from something that I knew was not going to lead to my Ten of Cups, but also, and that was going to allow me to really shine as myself. But there was that sense of, but what if I leave this individual that I've dedicated, many years of my life to, and what if I never find that person who wants to start a family with me? Or what if I become too old to have kids? Or all of those kinds of things. And yet I had to take that leap. I knew that what I had was not supportive. And so I knew I could not stay with that. I had to transform that energy into something new. And I took that leap of faith. And I think you're being asked to do the same here, Libra. So we have the Knight of Wands. I love it. Knight of Wands and Seven of Swords. Yes. Many of you, you're avoiding freedom. You're avoiding a sense of fun. You're avoiding, and it could be, Libra, because maybe you've always been the person who has been the responsible one. You've been the one who's towed the line, or you've been the one that's always tried to keep the peace. That's a big thing with Libra. But yet with the Knight of Wands coming in, this is the energy of Sagittarius. It's the energy of someone who wants to go out and just do what feels good. This is the person who wants to say yes to go to the party, or to go on the trip with the girls, or to maybe try a new job someplace. But with the Seven of Swords, there's an avoidance of this. There's almost an avoidance of wanting to kind of follow your own bliss, wanting to free yourself to just go out there to see what's fun, what feels good. This can also represent a Sagittarius in your life. So for people who are, do have a Sagittarius in your life, maybe there's a sense of wanting to avoid that person or avoid a conflict with that person. Or this could be avoiding a hard conversation about one person that maybe is not being responsible versus a person who has been responsible. So this could be if you're in a current dynamic right now where you're saying like, look, I've been the one that's towed the line all this time. I need some time off, and I'm going to need you to step up and do that, or vice versa. But there's a sense of maybe being afraid to have that conversation because of the conflict. Your final underlying energy here is the Three of Wands. Now, this is the energy of your ships coming in. This is the energy of pulling towards you new opportunities. And those new opportunities come in when we make the decision to go in a new direction. You know, what comes in for the Three of Wands is based off of the decision we make right here. When we choose to say it's time for me to release something from the past, and voila, we turn in a new direction and we realize our ship has come into port, but we were looking in the wrong direction previously. So that's why I say there's a little bit of a course correction here for some of you guys. You've been going in one direction and the Spirit's kind of held you in a holding pattern because Spirit was waiting for you to have that soul illumination of, wait a second, I'm seeing something clearly now. I'm seeing what I have to walk away from. And in doing so, I see now it's time to look in the other direction. And that's what's going to bring yourself into alignment. Okay, final card here. I'm going to pull a Power of Surrender card, and then we'll wrap it up. All right, Libra, what does Libra need to know to end this reading? Ooh, so many. So many cards, but we'll take them all. So we have Surrender the Drama. It says, no matter how emotionally charged the situation, remain calm and don't contribute to the drama. Staying centered will help resolve the issue more quickly. I really love that because there does look to be, again, some of this kind of combative energy coming in. And it always helps when we are in a position to really step up into the highest version of ourselves and into our full power, that it's not about giving into drama or giving into the fight with someone else. It's about just owning your own strength. Because he's individual. He looks almost like he's holding his sword of truth, and he has the wolves on either side. And there's a sense of just being able to be strong in your truth and using that to very calmly state why you're making the decision you're choosing to make now. Now we have three other cards here. We have Surrender to Divine Timing. It says, sometimes divine timing may differ from your ego's timing. If a goal isn't manifesting fast enough according to your ego, be patient and trust the universal flow. Then we have Surrender to the Wisdom of your Body. It says, listen to your body's messages about a person or situation. If you feel physically drained or uncomfortable, be cautious. If you are energized and happy, move forward. And surrender to setting limits. It is healthy to set boundaries in relationships. Practice expressing your needs and remember that no is a complete sentence. These are all beautiful cards because I'm going to bring a couple things to your attention here. First, surrender to the wisdom of your body. This is wonderful in realizing to kind of help you navigate where the Eight of Cups is coming in and perhaps help you navigate the Two of Swords energy of not really seeing how to make a decision. You'll be able to figure out which way to walk away from and which way to turn to walk towards by using your body. If you are thinking about something or some person and you are continually, it's stressing you out, it's making you feel physically drained as it says in the card, or it's kind of, upsetting your stomach or hurting you in your heart center, your heart chakra, that's saying that's what needs to be released because that's what's no longer emotionally supportive for you. That's what's going through the death process. But when we think about surrender to divine timing, there's that fear of like, well, what if I release this and I could never find it again in the future? And this is where then we have to step up, like it says, be patient and trust the universal flow. There is a sense of trust that comes in when we take that leap of faith, like we see here, and we leave a comfort zone, we leave what we've known, that there's that sense of divine timing. And I am 100% a believer through my own direct experience, but also through just seeing the experiences of many others around me, that what is meant for our own happiness, meaning what we yearn for in our heart of hearts, our version of the Ten of Cups, will never be withheld from us. It is always there waiting for us, but we have to have the courage to trust that we will continue to take action towards its attainment. And in doing so, our life will shift and we will be in alignment with that. That's where the Wheel of Fortune comes in twice here. So there's a sense of the time is now to make this shift. And if you can do so with faith, that yes, that divine timing for that 10 of Cups will come in for you. And the surrender to setting limits is always a good one to keep in mind, that we can always have boundaries. And that when we say no is a complete sentence, that can be hard for a lot of us. We might want to say no, but then we have, especially if you have strong Libra placements, there's that sense of, needing to see the other person's perspective as much as yours, or wanting to give an explanation as to why you're saying no. And sometimes it's just as simple as saying, no, I can't do that. No, I'm not going to be put in that position. No, I'm not going to be made to feel this way. And that's enough for you to honor in yourself. But there is definitely a sense here, Libra, of being really in a place to step back up into your own personal power, to really be seen for the magic that you uniquely bring, and that you really do have within your reach this 10 of Cups. But there's a sense of really having to face something in your life where there is an imbalance in your physical experience, whether that is, again, the releasing of a current relationship or the shifting of a dynamic within that current relationship, where one person, maybe there's a sense of freedom that is at play, or there is the release of a past relationship that is has been kind of long holding you back from really getting back out onto the horse and into leaving a comfort zone. And again, this could be a deep relationship with a loved one, or a romantic partnership, or it could be a family member, or even a strong connection to a work environment where, again, you might have been made to feel very close and vulnerable and intimate with that work relationship. All right, I will leave it there, Libra. I hope this has been helpful. If you'd like to book your own personal reading to see what your soul most wants to illuminate for you at this time, you can click on the link in the description box below to visit my website and to see a list of services that I offer. Otherwise, I will see you at our next reading. Bye, Libra.